what's happening around the world
and what's happening here at home. A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst team. I am Rochelle Thamodara.
And I'm Sandra Ferdinando. Let's take a look at our headlines for tonight.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
A conflict between Dilit and Ranjan. Dilit accuses Ranjan of attempting to catch thieves with the thieves. Ranjan responds, says he would stand by Dilit if that were true.
Dilit Mahathir චෝදනා දෙනවා ඇන්ටිජන් හොරා කියලා කියනවා. ඒකට ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාගේ නෙළුම් මොකද පොට්ටුව ඇඳලා මේ කියන්නේ මේ ඒ අතරින් ඒක කියන්න දෙන්නේ නයි කියලා කරා. පොඩක් ඉඳපන්. පොට්ටුව ඇඳලා ඇන්දෙත් යාළු ගෝඨාභය මහත්තයාව ගෙනාවෙත් යාළු. එයාම කියනවා. එයා තමයිලු ගෙනාවේ. ඉතින් ඒ හරහා බිස්නස් කොච්චර කරගත්තද?
To whom does Ranjan's party belong? UDV candidates raise concerns.
සුභාස්කරන් අලිරාජා මහතා සහ එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ කියන පක්ෂයේ සම්බන්ධය මොකද? ලයිකා ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් ආයතනය, මොනරා පුවත්පත් ආයතනය, මේ ඔක්කොම තියෙන ආයතනයේම තමයි එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂයේ.
Hirunika alleges SJB members using money to secure votes. Postal voting for general election kicks off. 4 more days left. Ex-Minister Johnston released on bail.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Sri Lanka decides.
Starting off with news here at home, a disagreement has arisen between candidates Ranjan Ramanayaka and Dilit Jayavira, who are contesting in the Gampa district from 2 different parties. Ranjan Ramanayaka responded to Dilit Jayavira's accusations yesterday.
Leader of the United Democratic Voice, Ranjan Ramanayaka and Dilit Jayavira from the Sarva Janabalaya are contesting in the Kampaha district. Dilit Jayavira yesterday alleged that Ranjan Ramanayaka has turned politics into a business.
රංජන් රාමනායක මහතා ව්‍යාපාරික කටයුත්තක නියුක්ත වෙලා ඉන්නේ. එතුමා ඊටම වක්කීමෙන් කියන්නේ එතුමාගේ දේශපාලන ප්‍රවේශය ගත්තොත්
Ranjan Ramanayaka is engaged in a business venture. Who is the leader of the party? Who owns the party? What are its principles and goals? This party is spending a significant amount of money. Ranjan Ramanayaka once claimed to catch thieves, but I recently saw a social media post that Ranjan, who was to catch thieves, was caught by a thief. This is a political perversion that must be addressed in the name of democracy. This kind of distortion is unprecedented in Sri Lankan politics and must be corrected. Everyone must come together to defeat such political adversaries, regardless of their name or form.
කිරීම සඳහා පෙනී සිටිය යුතුයි. එනිසා මොන නමින් ආවත් කොයි විදියට ආවත් මෙවැනි දේශපාලන සතුරු බලවේග පරාජය කළ යුතුයි සියලුම ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදීට අයිති පුද්ගලයන්.
මම හොරු අල්ලන්න ඇවිල්ලා හොරෙක් එක්ක ඉන්න නම් මම ඉන්න ඕනේ දිලිත් එක්ක නෙමල්ලි. දිලිත් මහත්තයාගේ කණ්ඩායම බලන්න. දිලිත් මහත්තයා ගැන මම කියලා ඉස්සලා කියලා ඉන්න ඕනේ. දිලිත් මහත්තයා.
If I'm here to catch thieves, I should be standing with Dilit. Look at Dilit's team. Let me start with Dilit. He is accused of stealing from importing antigens. He claims that he is the one who designed the Pohor tour. He says that he is the one who brought Gothabaya. How much business did he do then?
මහත්තයාව ගෙනාවෙත් යාළු. එයාම කියනවා. එයා තමයිලු ගෙනාවේ. ඉතින් ඒ හරහා බිස්නස් කොච්චර කරගත්තද? කොච්චර හොටෙල් වල කොරෝනා රෝගී නවත්වනවා කියලා කිව්වා. ඉතින් මේව අහගන්නනේ දිලිත් මහත්තයා ඔය කතාව කියලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ කිව්වා මොකද්ද? මහා විශාල ශබ්දයක් ඇහුණා කිව්වා. ජනේලෙන් බැලුවා කිව්වා. කපුවා බල්ටියක් ගහලා කැලණි ගඟට පැන්නා කිව්වා. පීනකට ගියා කිව්වා. ඇමරිකන් වෝටර් බෝටල් එකේ නයික් දාලා ආවා කිව්වා. ඉතින් ඌවා කිව්වේ මේ මහත්තයාට කිව්වේ. ඉතින් මේ මහත්තයා එහෙම කියලා ඊට පස්සේ කර ලොකු විනාශය මොකද? අර හොර ධම්මික පැණිය කියලා පැණියක් අරගෙන ඒ පැණිය කතානායකතුමාට පෙවුවනේ මේ යෝධයා. ඒ පැණිය පවිත්‍ර වන්නේ අර චිද්බිව කතානායකතුමා මම නම් බිව්වේ නෑ. මම දන්නවා ලෝකලෙඩක් කියලා. අන්තිමට ගඟට ගිහලා මුට්ටි දැම්මා. ඒවා සේරම කරලා එතුමා ජාතියෙන් සමාවිල්ලන්න ඕනේ එතුමා කරපු වැරදි වලට. ඉතින්
he must make a public apology to the nation for the mistakes he made. If he is saying that I am with the thieves, then my first choice should have been to partner with Dilith. Look at his team. Who is Gamman Pillar? What about the Australian matter? We are not fond of digging into these issues. What about Channa Jayasumana? What did he say?
boy අන්තිමට මේ මිනිස්සයා ඇවිල්ලා කරපුද අර ඕස්ට්‍රේලියානු වයසක ජෝඩුව අඬනවා ඒ මුදල් දුන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ ඡණ්ඩ ජයසුමන අපේ දොස්තර මහත්තයා මොනවද කිව්වේ? පැලෝපිය නාලය දෙපැත්තෙන් මිරිකුවලු ડોක්ටර් සාහ්. එතකොට වඳ වුණාලු. ඊට පස්සේ මේ කට්ටිය මොනවද කිව්වේ? වඳ ජංගි කිව්වා. වඳ කොත්තු කිව්වා. වඳ බ්‍රෙසියර් කිව්වා. ඉතින් එහෙම කරපු දිලිත් මහත්තයා අද ගම්පහෙන් මායක ඉල්ලනවා. ඉතින් මන් දන්නේ එතුමා ජාතියෙන්ම සමාව ගන්න ඕනේ ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයා වගේ ජනාධිපති කෙනෙක් කියලා.
Dilith, who did all of this, is now contesting against me in Gampaha. He must make a public apology to the nation for the mistakes he made. He brought in Gotabaya, spent millions of rupees and deceived the people using this channel. I don't know if he is trying to rectify his mistakes. If he is attempting to blame any member of my party, I am here. Arrest me.
කරන සියලු දෙනාට හොරු කියලා කියනවනම් ඔන්න මම ඉන්නවා ඕන වෙලාවක අත්තන්න ගොඩ ගන්න.
Prasanna Adhikari, Colombo district candidate representing the United Democratic Voice, led by Ranjan Ramanayaka, underscored the need to reveal those operating behind the scenes in the party. He expressed these views during a special media briefing convened in Colombo. 10 situations were reported before and after the media briefing.
The special briefing, attended by Colombo district candidate representing the United Democratic Voice, was held at the Dr. N.M. Pereira Centre in Borella. Before the media briefing began, several other candidates and party activists attempted to obstruct the proceedings.
මේ අනුකම්පාවෙන් ඔය අත්සන් කරා. ඔය අත්සන් කළා දැන් මෙච්චර දවස් ගිහලා මාධ්‍ය ප්‍රකාශ දුන්නා, ඉන්ටර්වියු දුන්නා, පක්ෂ ගැන කිව්වා, හොඳ කිව්වා, හැමදේම කියලා අයියේ දැන් මේ අවස්ථාවේ අන්තිම මොහොතේ මේම වුණාම අපි ඔක්කොමලගේ ජීවිතේ නෑ නෑ අයියේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ අපි මේ එකට කාලා බීලා හිටපු මිනිස්සුනේ ඒකේ විශ්වාසය මතනේ අයියේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉල්ලනවා අපි සතුටු වෙන්නේ නෑ. එයා ඔයාගේ වැඩේ කරගන්න මගේ වැඩේ කරන්නත් මට අවස්ථාව දෙන්න. නෑ ඒක මාධ්‍යට ආරාධනා කරා. තමන්ලා වෙන කිසිම වැරද්දක් කරන්න නෑ. ඕන්න මාධ්‍ය වල ඉඳගෙන ඉන්න මෙතන බලන්න මම මොකද්ද කියන්නේ. ඒ තුලට ඔයාලා උත්තර දෙනවා නම් ඔයාලට ප්‍රශ්නේ තේරෙයි. ප්‍රශ්නේ තේරුම් ගන්න නැතුව කතා කරන්න එපා please. Excuse me. අපේ මගේ ලෝයර් මෙයා please. නෑ 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 මේ මම දන්න අපි එක එක ලෝයර් කතා කරන්න එපා කියලා මගේ ලෝයර් අපි කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් කරන්නේ නෑ. අපි කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් කරන්නේ නෑ ලෝයර්. please මොකද අපි කාගෙන්වත් මුදල් අරන් කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් කරන්නේ නෑ ලෝයර්. ඒගොල්ලන් මේ පෙට් කරලා සල්ලි ඉල්ලනවා පක්ෂයෙන් ඒකයි මේ කේස් එක.
Prasanna Adhikari then began the media briefing.
ඇත්තටම මේක අලුත් පක්ෂයක්. අපි හොයලා බලපුවාම ඒක අලුත් පක්ෂයක් නොවන බව අපිට තහවුරු වුණා. අනිත් කාරණේ තමයි මේකේ නායකයා ඇත්තටම රංජන් රාමනායකද. ජාතික සංවිධායක ටීඑම් ඩිල්ෂාන්ද. ඒ පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවා මම ඒ පිළිබඳ හොයා බැලුවා. මැතිවරණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ ඒ තියෙන තොරතුරු කබඩාව පරීක්ෂා කරලා බැලුවා. අන්තර්ජාලයේ තොරතුරු පරීක්ෂා කරලා බැලුවා. ඒ කිසිම තැනක මේ දෙදෙනාගේ නම් නැහැ. ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ එක්සත් කොංග්‍රස් පක්ෂය 2024 මැතිවරණයට මේක తాවකාලිකව නම වෙනස් කරගෙන ආපු පක්ෂයක් විදිහට තමයි තියෙන්නේ. එහෙමනම් මේක අලුත් පක්ෂයක් නෙමෙයි, පරණ පක්ෂයක්. එක්සත් කොංග්‍රස් පක්ෂය ඒ පක්ෂයේ නම වෙනස් කරලා 2024 පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයට මැතිවරණ නීතියේ තියෙන සීමාවල් වලින් මේක අලුත් පක්ෂයක් කියලා අපේ රටට හඳුන්වලා දුන්නා. මම ගිහිල්ලා අධ්‍යයනය කරා එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂයේ විදිහට මම ගිහිල්ලා ඒක ක්ලික් කරලා බැලුවා. ඒක බලපුවාම මට ආවේ ඒකේ නායකයන්ගේ තොරතුරු විදිහට ආවේ මෙන්න මේක. ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ මේකේ පාටි ලීඩර් කණ්ඩායම් ගොඩාක් ඉන්නවා. සහක අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරු මේ ලේකම්වරු නායකවරු විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් ඉන්නවා. මේ එක්කෙනෙක්වත් අපි ඔය කියන එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂේ නෑ. ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂයේ ව්‍යවස්ථාව මොකක්ද කියලා. ආවේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක්. පක්ෂ ව්‍යවස්ථාව. United Congress Party මේක තමයි ආවේ. එක්සත් කොංග්‍රස් පක්ෂය. ඊට පස්සේ බලපුවාම මේකේ තියෙනවා පිටු 46ක ඩොකියුමන්ට් එකක් තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ සබ්මිට් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි බලපුවාම පිටු 31ක්ම මැතිවරණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ වෙබ් එකේ නැහැ. අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මේ ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ නැති වෙච්ච පිටු වල මොකක්ද රට ගැන තියෙන්නේ. රටේ ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාව ගැන, රටේ බහුමික අඛණ්ඩතාවය ගැන, රටේ බලය බෙදීම ගැන මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ව්‍යවස්ථාව අනුමත වෙලා සම්මත කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ 2022 සම්මත වෙච්ච එක අත්සන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ 2021 8:25. එහෙම වෙන්නේ කොහොමද මේ නිල විදියට මැතිවරණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට දීපුවා. මේකට බරපතල විදියට මැතිවරණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවටත් වගකීමක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මැතිවරණ කොමිසමට වගකීමක් තියෙනවා. මේ පිළිබඳව සොයා බලන්න. අපි දැක්ක පහුගිය කාලේ අපි පක්ෂය ඇතුළතදීත් කතා කරා. අපේක්ෂකයෝ ආවා. අපේ අපේක්ෂකයෝ කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ අපේක්ෂකයෝත් ඔවුන්ට තිබුණු රැස්වීම වලදී ජාතික ලයිස්තුව ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න කියලා කිව්වා. ඒ ජාතික ලයිස්තුව එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂයේ ජාතික ලයිස්තුවද එහෙම නැත්නම් එක්සත් කොංග්‍රස් පක්ෂයේ ජාතික ලයිස්තුවද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ජාතික ලයිස්තුවේ ඉන්න කුමන පුද්ගලයෝද? ද්විත්ව පුරවැසියෝද? එහෙම නැත්නම් විදේශිකයෝද? එහෙම නැත්නම් වෙන මොනවා හරි කණ්ඩායම් වලට අයිති අයද? චෝදනා ලැබපු අයද අධිකරණයේ වැරදිකරුවෝද මේ කියන කිසි කෙනෙක් ගැන අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. නිසා කරුණා කරලා මෙන්න මේක රට හෙළිදරව් කර යුතු වෙනවා. මාධ්‍ය තුලත් දේශපාලන පක්ෂ සියලු දෙනා මතු කරන කාරණයක් තමයි සුභාස්කරන් අලිරාජා මහතා සහ එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ කියන පක්ෂයේ සම්බන්ධය මොකද්ද? සම්බන්ධය ඉතා පැහැදිලිනේ. එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂයේ ඇඩ්‍රස් එක බලාගත්තා නම් ඕන කෙනෙකුට අංක 20 කොටාපාර බොරැල්ල ලයිකා ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් ආයතනේ මොනරා පුවත්පත් ආයතනේ මේ ඔක්කොම තියෙන ආයතනයේම තමයි එක්සත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී හඬ පක්ෂයේ තියෙන්නේ.
මේ ජයවීර මහත්තයා චෝදනා කරනවා රංජන් කරන්න බිස්නස් එක ඩයස්පෝරාවක් එක්ක කියලා.
ඔව් ඒ චෝදනා එන්නේ ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි දැන් සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ ඊයේ ගිහිල්ලා පැමිණිල්ලක් ඉදිරිපත් මේ වගේ දැන් විවිධ පාර්ශවයන් මේ සම්බන්ධව මතවාද ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා පෙරටුගාඩි සමාජවාදී පක්ෂයේ අධ්‍යාපන ලේකම්වරයා ප්‍රකාශනිකුත් කරා. ඉතින් මේ වගේ විවිධ කට්ටිය මේ සම්බන්ධව චෝදනා කරන්නේ විවේචන කරන්නේ අධිකරණයට යන්නේ ඇයි? අපි කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න ඕනේ එහෙම.
At the end of the media briefing, the group representing the United Democratic Voice once again voiced their opposition to Prasanna Adhikari.
තමයි දැන් මම දිවුවනේ කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එකක් කරන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. ඔය ප්‍රොපෝසල් එකක් දුන්නානේ පක්ෂයට. ප්‍රොපෝසල් කීපේ සල්ලි ඉල්ලලා නෙමෙයිද ඔයා දුන්නේ. ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ තමයි ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලට ජනතා මතයක් නැද්ද? ජනතා මතයක් සල්ලි මතයද මේ දේශපාලනය කරන්නේ. නිකන් කාගේ හරි මාධ්‍ය නාලිකාවක කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එකක් නේ ඔයා මේ කරේ ප්‍රසන්නයි. නිකන් ලැජ්ජ නැති වැඩ කරන්න එපා. තේරුණාද? මෙතන ඇවිල්ලා මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තියෙන විශ්වාසය නැති කරනවා. ඔයා ලැජ්ජ නැති වැඩ නේ කරේ. හරිද? ඔය පාවල දෙන්න නෙමෙයි.
ඩොකියුමන්ට් තියෙනවා.
රට පාවල අන්න ඒව කියන්නේ ඕවා
ඊළඟ පාර කියන්න
ඔයා කැන්ඩිඩේට් කෙනෙක් වෙනකොට දිල්සාන්ත ඉත්තපුරේසිය කියලා දැනගෙන හිටියේ නැද්ද? ඊට පස්සේ ආවුනේ නැහැ. කියලා පාවල දෙන්න බෑ මේක. අපි කලින්ම කිව්වා අපි ඊළඟ සාපේ ප්‍රෙස් එකේ කියන්න. අනිකර බොරුවක් කරේ. සල්ලි අරගෙන මුදල් වලට රට පාවල දෙන වැඩක් මේ කරේ. ලැජ්ජේ කාර්යය මොකද? ඔය සල්ලි අරගෙන මේ ලෝය කෙනෙක් සල්ලි ගෙවලා ලෝයස්ලා සල්ලි වලට මේ වගේ වැඩ කරන ලැජ්ජයි. නීතිඥවරුන්ගේ සංගමයටම ලැජ්ජයි. පක්ෂයෙන් ගත්ත සල්ලි දෙන්න. හරිද? පක්ෂයෙන් ගත්ත සල්ලි දෙන්න. පණ යනවා ලැජ්ජා. පක්ෂයෙන් මේමයි මම කියන්නේ මේක හොඳ ප්ලෑන් එකකට ගිය ගේම. ඔයාලා ෆයිල් ටික අර උස්සල පොට්ටික පෙන්නකොට එයා දැන් ඊයේ ගිහිල්ලා පක්ෂෙන් සල්ලි දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා ඔයා කරපු වැඩ ටික කරලා පෙන්නන්න කිව්වා. මොකද මෙයා ගහපු ගේමට පක්ෂෙන් පිළිතුරු දුන්නා. මෙයා ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ඔක එක මාධ්‍යායතනකට ගිහිල්ලා කියලා මෙයා මෙන්න මෙහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා. මෙයා මේක ඇතුළට එන්නේ මේකේම ගහන්න. මේ අපේ ඉස්සෙක් වශයෙන් ඇවිල්ලා මෙන්න මෙහෙම ඉඳලා ඇතුළේ තොරතුරු රැස් කළා. මෙයා තනිකර CID වැඩක් කරේ පක්ෂය ඇතුළේ.
Prasanna Adhikari accused the party of failing to provide funds for a project during a media briefing convened today by the United Democratic Voice.
ඊයේ දවසේ එතුමා ගිහිල්ලා අපේ පක්ෂයට ප්‍රොපෝසල් එකක් බාර දෙනවා. මේ ප්‍රොපෝසල් එක බාර දෙන්නේ
He submitted a proposal to the party yesterday aiming to benefit young people. To do this, he requested a substantial amount of money which was rejected by the party due to it being an election period. Providing funds privately for any reason is prohibited for all parties at this time. After being informed that the party is not prepared to grant the requested funds, he organized a media briefing today to highlight the party's shortcomings and share information.
සාකච්ඡාවක් තියලා අද දවසේ කියනවා පක්ෂයේ අඩුපාඩු, පක්ෂයේ තොරතුරු මෙවැනි දේවල් එතුමා මාධ්‍යයට ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා.
මේ අපිට පේන්නේ පක්ෂය ඇතුලේ මහා විශාල සුළු කුණාටුවක් වගේ. දැන් මේ මයික් එකට පොර කරනවනේ මයික් ටයිසන්ලා ගොඩක් ඉන්නවනේ.
පක්ෂය ඇතුලේ කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මන් දන්නේ කැලමිල්ල තියෙන එළියේ
ඔබතුමන්ලගේ පක්ෂයේ කට්ටිය නෙමෙයි එළියට ගිහිල්ලා කලබන්න මේ.
ඕනෑම පක්ෂයක විවිධ තරාතිරම් වල පුද්ගලයන්.
In any party, people with differing views come together and may leave for various reasons. As our leader says, the time to understand some people is limited.
කරලා ගත්තත් අපිට සමහර අයව අඳුර ගන්න තියෙන කාලය අඩුයි.
The Supreme Court dismissed a fundamental rights petition today filed against Ranjan Ramanayaka's candidacy for the upcoming parliamentary election. Mahinda Senanayaka, an independent candidate contesting from the Gampaha district, had filed the petition. The petition was considered by a 3-judge bench comprising Supreme Court Justices Preeti Padman Surasena, Kumuduni Vikramasinghe and Achala Vengapuli. Deputy Solicitor General Dr. Avanti Pereira, representing the Attorney General, argued that the petition had been filed in contravention of the law. She pointed out that a plea for a writ order to nullify a nominations list must be made through a writ petition and not a fundamental rights petition. The Deputy Solicitor General added that a returning officer is merely a state official executing his or her duties, thus cannot question the qualifications of a relevant candidate. Hence, the Deputy Solicitor General requested courts to dismiss the petition without examining it, claiming that a writ order cannot be requested to nullify a nominations list in its entirety to deny one candidate from contesting the election. President's counsel Nizam Karyapar, appearing on behalf of Ranjan Ramanayaka, was in agreement with the preliminary objections filed by the Attorney General and requested that the petition be dismissed without being examined. The President's counsel went on to note that the relief sought by the petitioner cannot be granted by courts at this point of time, and any such matter should be brought to the attention of the judiciary after the conclusion of the election. President's counsel Dilan Philip, who appeared on behalf of the petitioner, said Ranjan Ramanayaka cannot legally contest an election as his civic rights have been suspended. Following the hearing, the three-judge bench accepted the preliminary objections presented by the respondents, ordering for the petition to be dismissed.
Colombo district candidate of Samagi Jana Sandhana, Hirunika Premachandra, claims that certain people within her party are also using money to secure votes. She expressed these views during an election campaign in Vallavatta today.
In every party I know, including our own, there are people who spend like this. This is a preference contest, therefore effort is put into securing a few seats. It's sad to witness the auctioning of votes for money everywhere. Our country is filled with people with diminished rights. Ultimately, the only right we truly have is the right to vote. No matter how many candidates come forward, voters often have their predetermined choice in their minds. Ultimately, only their hearts and the pen they use to cast their vote will know that decision. The right to vote has now become conditional on paying money to cast a vote. Some politicians approach the relevant division leader demanding 500 votes from the polling station, promising a cheque for 200,000 in return. This situation must be eliminated from our party. Since the time of DSN Naika, this has been a significant party that has produced influential leaders. We cannot allow anyone to introduce the corrupt practices that have plagued other parties. President Andrew Kumara Dissanayake, the leader of the National People's Power, spoke about a program aimed at creating anarchy in the country through false propaganda.
The Mathura District Public Rally, organised by the National People's Power for the upcoming general election, was held under the chairmanship of party leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake.
තාමත් පැරණි ඇබ්බැහිකම් වෙනස් කරගන්න බැරි මාධ්‍ය කීපයක් තිබෙනවා. අපි ඔවුන්ට ආරාධනා කරනවා මාධ්‍ය අපේ රටේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය සුරක්ෂිත කිරීම සඳහා වැදගත්.
There are some media networks that seem unable to shed their old habits. Media plays a crucial role in safeguarding our country's democracy, and we urge them to let go of their outdated practices and embrace a more democratic approach. We've seen instances where they report false information about key industries impacting the economy. For example, some news channels lead with headlines like "The government prints money," only to follow up with "Did the government print money?" They first assert that "we did," then question it, and later state "government says they did not print money." This stems from their reluctance to move away from those old and disreputable practices. We invite everyone to adopt the new principles of democracy. The media has a significant responsibility in strengthening the country's democracy, and we expect them to fulfill that role effectively. You may recall the potential threats reported in Arugambe. In response, we acted methodically to ensure the safety of citizens without causing panic or disrupting the tourism industry. When such intelligence information is received, the government's responsibility is not to broadcast it widely but to implement necessary safety measures. While we were taking these steps, one media channel falsely reported that the information originated from India. They then claimed that individuals had been offered 50,000 rupees each for this attack, which is also completely untrue despite being reported. There is a clear agenda behind these actions. They know that we have only recently come to power and hold authority in just a few areas. Political power is reinforced endorsed by various institutions, and with only 3 members in the cabinet, our influence is limited. The country's political strength lies in the president's position, the cabinet, parliament, provincial councils and local government bodies. They are strategizing to undermine this stability and have begun spreading false narratives about economic instability and societal insecurity. These are fabricated stories aimed at creating chaos. Their goal is to incite anarchy. And it's not just 1 or 2 media channels involved. Politics is being manipulated as well. Some individuals are spreading misinformation on stages. Not stages, but meetings often take place in houses or hotels rather than in meetings. If a decision was made to increase state sector employees' salaries and funds were allocated, why hasn't this been implemented? Some are claiming we will fail in a month or 2. But remember, this government, built by the national people's power, cannot be halted in 3 months. We will only stop once this country is rebuilt.
අපි නතර වෙන්නේ මේ රට හදලා මිස මේ ජාතික ජනබලවේගය ආණ්ඩුව නතර කරන්න බැරි වුණා තියාගන්න.
The postal voting for the 2024 general election began today. This time, over 738,000 public sector employees are eligible to cast their vote in the postal voting process.
The postal voting process of the ex-president's security division in Colombo was held this morning. Postal voting for the 2024 general election took place today at the Anuradhapura police headquarters. In the Kurunegala district, postal voting was carried out today at both the Kurunegala district secretariat and the Kurunegala police station. In the Kandy district, postal voting was held today at the Kandy district secretariat and the Kandy police station. Postal voting in the Gaul district was also conducted today. In the Mathura district, postal voting was conducted today at the Mathura district secretariat and the Mathura police station. In the Vaunia district, postal voting took place today at the Vaunia district secretariat and the Vaunia police station. In the Nuwara district, postal voting was conducted at the Nuwara district secretariat and the Nuwara police station.
පළවෙනිදා සියලුම හමුදා කඳවුරු සහ අනිකුත් සියලුම රාජ්‍ය ආයතනවල තැපැල් තැන්දක සලකුණු
On the 1st of November, postal voting will be conducted at all military camps and state institutions. On the 4th, that process will be conducted again with the oversight of the certifying officer. If you are unable to cast your vote on the 30th of October, 1st or the 4th of November, provisions have been made for votes to be cast on the 7th and 8th of November at the office of the returning officer of the district you are employed at. Special polling centres have been set up for this matter. We request all postal voters to cast their votes at their respective workplaces.
තමට නියමිත වෙන් කරන දිනේදී තපන්ගේ තැපැල් ඡන්දය පාවිච්චි කිරීමට කටයුතු කරන ලෙස
News First with the people.
Former Minister Johnston Fernando, who was in remand custody, has been released on bail. He was released on 5 sureties amounting to 5 million rupees each. The order was issued today by Colombo Fort Magistrate Thanuja Lakmali.
The case against Johnston Fernando, which includes charges of using an assembled and unregistered BMW vehicle among other allegations, was brought before the Fort Magistrates Court today. During the hearing, Fernando, along with 2 drivers who were arrested in connection with the incident and released on bail yesterday, appeared in court. President's counsel Sampath Mendis, representing Fernando, argued that the charges against his client fall under the Motor Traffic Act, which allows for bail. He requested the court to release Fernando on any bail conditions deemed appropriate. Detectives requested the court to deny bail, citing ongoing investigations. However, the magistrate rejected this request and ordered his release on bail. Magistrate instructed Fernando to appear before the High Court as per the warrants issued by the High Court. The case is scheduled to be called up again on the 5th of February.
මේ අධිකරණයට හැම වෙලෙම හිස නමලා තියෙනවා අධිකරණයට අපි කරු කරලා තියෙනවා ඒ නිසා මේ උසාවියේ තියෙන දෙයක් ගැන ඊට වැඩිය මම යමක් කතා කරන්න යන්නේ නෑ ආරක්ෂක කෙනෙක් කතා කරලා ඇත්තටම ඔය ෂෝක් එකට යන්නේ මුතුමා මම කොහොමදත් ෂෝක් එකේ හැමදාම ගියා ආරක්ෂකයෝ මං කවදා තියා මා දෙපාරතුන් පාර මට වෙඩි තිබ්බානේ 88 89 වෙඩි තිබ්බා ඝාතනය කරන්න හැදුවා ඒ හින්දා ඉතින් සාධාරණ යනවා නම් ඔක්කොමද හොඳයි.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment, Koshala Wickramasinghe, says external forces who influence the Bureau's operations in the past have disrupted its standard operating procedure.
I believe there is no harm in saying this. Over the past 1.5 to 2 years, the operation system of the Bureau has been dismantled by external parties because the new government had to follow the mandate of the people. A rapid response unit was established. It isn't something I am in agreement with. Personally, the chairman must not involve himself in the operations. But there was a need to conduct damage control. A stringent vetting process hadn't been followed concerning those who were sent for employment in Israel's agricultural sector. As the chairman, I must concede that a political interference has taken place in that. All the process and the actions conducted for a prolonged period at the Bureau had been disregarded by those who interfered. They had compiled their own list of candidates and sent them overseas. When those parties travel overseas, they are unable to carry out those duties properly. Then that country noticed that their skill level was very low and imposed greater controls. By now, it has come to a point where a physical test is conducted. Our task is to follow the regulations given to us, and that is what we are doing.
What happened to Sri Lanka? Over the past few weeks, Newsfirst has exposed the massive destruction of the people's money, time and again. Today we highlight a stark example of negligence regarding the lives of our citizens.
What happened to Sri Lanka?
On the 29th of October 2014, a catastrophic landslide struck Badulla in Media Badda. This disaster took the lives of 37 people, including innocent children. A staggering 75 homes were destroyed. Nobody could pinpoint where they once stood. Today, shelter has been provided for those 75 families left homeless. Yet, 35 more families remain identified as living on the brink of disaster. Now, a decade later, these at-risk families still live in danger.
ආපෝ වැස්ස අඩු වුණාම ආපෝ මේ ලයිමට එනවා ආපෝ යන වැස්ස වැඩි වුණාම ආය යන්න කියනවා ජීවිතේත් මේ අපි ඉන්නේ තාමත් තීරණයක් මොනවත් නැහැ
පස්කන්දේ යට වුණ මිනිසුන්ට උතරයි අර මකුල්තනේ මේ ගෙවල් බඳලා දුන්නා අපිට ගෙවල් 34 වෙනස දෙඩි ආවදනයි කියලා අපි අයින් කරුවා අයින් කරපේ කරන්ට් එකක් නැහැ මොකුත් නැහැ අලි එනවා අපිට ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙනවා මේ ගිය මාසේ වෙලා ඉඩම වනින කියලා ඉඩම් දෙනවා කියලා ඒජ් එකේ ඉඳලා ආවා මේ සත්‍යයක් විතර එනවා තාම මොකුත් නැහැ ඉතින් මේ කන්දා මම කතා කරන ඉස්සලාම කන්දක් පිපලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් වැස්සටයි කියලා අපිට දන්නේ නැහැ අපි බය වෙලා තමයි ඉන්නේ.
Initially, ministers made the rounds showering promises to the affected. Yet, those pledges have crumbled into dust. If another landslide were to occur, the devastation would be catastrophic. This could be easily dismissed as an isolated event. But after 10 years, how many have come into power to represent the people? How could they lack the will to address even the minor issue? Scientific studies have clearly outlined the dangers looming in this area. Those responsible must know the stakes. What does a decade of neglect say about the lives of these innocent people? Isn't it time for those in power to take accountability? How many instances of mismanaged public funds and failed projects have we unveiled in recent days? We've shown how others have profited from this. The priority must be to confront the unresolved issues facing the people. Isn't now the time for change?
What happened to Sri Lanka?
The Supreme Court dismissed 4 petitions that were filed challenging the decision to reduce the interest rate to 9% on investments made by the Employees' Provident Fund in Treasury bills and bonds under the Domestic Debt Restructuring Program. The petitioners claim that this decision violated the fundamental rights of EPF members.
The petitions were taken up in the presence of a three-member bench comprising Justices Preetipadman Surasena, Kumudini Wickramasinghe and Achala Puli. The Attorney General and other respondents argued that similar fundamental rights petitions on this issue had previously been dismissed by the court, asserting that there was no legal basis to proceed with the current petitions. The bench, accepting these preliminary objections, ruled that the petitions would not be granted permission for examination and subsequently dismissed them. These petitions were filed by several parties, including the Katunayaka Free Trade Zone Workers' Union.
Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya met with the Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka today.
During a meeting at the Prime Minister's office, the Prime Minister expressed gratitude to the Chinese ambassador, Ki Zeng Hong, for the timely generosity and support for Sri Lanka. According to the Prime Minister's media division, the discussion also extended to future engagements with both parties, emphasizing a commitment to deepening bilateral relations. In particular, they explored new avenues for investment and collaboration to foster economic growth and mutual prosperity.
U.S. Ambassador Julie Chung observed the implementation of the U.S. Department of Agriculture funded McGovern-Dole International Food for Education and Child Nutrition Program. The program expands into Colombo area schools this month.
It's like Harry Potter takers to school. And I know
A discussion organized by the United States Department of Agriculture and Save the Children under the Food for Education and Child Nutrition Program was held in Maharagama.
the United States is working so closely with Save the Children here in Sri Lanka to provide school midday meals for almost 200,000 primary and preschool children all around Sri Lanka. And this month, we are proud to announce that we're adding 44 new schools in Colombo because we want to really help those impacted by urban poverty. We want to help complement the national meal program that the Sri Lankan government is already doing. And so we're working in very close partnership with the Sri Lankan government because the children need a chance to stay in schools, not drop out, and these meals help them. And in addition to the daily meals we're providing with preparing for school gardens, hygiene, preparation, and also teaching students and their meal preparers about how to provide these very healthy meals, which includes fortified rice, salmon, and vegetable. And the United States just want to help the most vulnerable of the vulnerable to Sri Lanka and remain a good friend of Sri Lanka.
Since 2018, the United States has contributed $60 million to improve child health and education in Sri Lanka through the McGovern-Dole program. This support includes the delivery of over 10,260 metric tons of US-donated commodities and 1,820 metric tons of locally produced fortified rice and canned fish to 8 districts, namely Badulla, Colombo, Kilinochchi, Munaragala, Mullaitivu, Nuwara Eliya, Ratnapura and Trincomalee.
The Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka revealed that Mattal International Airport will connect with multiple Russian cities.
Samara's Kurumach Airport said the Russia's Red Wings Airlines launched direct flights between Samara and Mattala on the 29th October. The flights are scheduled for every 10 days at 8 hours per trip. Boeing 777s will be the mode of transport for passengers according to the online board of Kurumach Airport. Russian Ambassador Levan Zakarian took speaking at the GEM Sri Lanka 2025 exhibition, announced the launch of Red Wings flights to the Mattala airport from various Russian cities.
We launched direct flights with Mattala airport from different cities of the Russian Federation. So a lot of Russians will come here, they will enjoy their presence in Sri Lanka, and they will have the possibility to purchase more and more stones and just precious stones and jewelry.
Turkey celebrated the 101st anniversary of the Turkish Republic's founding on Tuesday with a diverse array of events and commemoration across the country. The embassy in Colombo also hosted an event to mark the 101st anniversary.
The 101st anniversary of the Turkish Republic's founding was celebrated in Colombo with the presence of many diplomats and well-wishers. The The event was organized by the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey in Colombo.
Turkey and Sri Lanka relations have been sound and steady throughout its history. Both countries are geostrategically significant, located at crossroads, and have been supportive to each other in international platforms. As Sri Lanka's strategic partner in the tea sector, Turkey has been one of the long-term export markets of Ceylon tea. Nevertheless, there are many other opportunities for cooperation between us in other sectors, such as food, machinery, energy, jams, and pharmaceuticals. Turkey is also connecting Sri Lanka to Europe and the Americas with its national flag carrier, Turkish Airlines. The connectivity is instrumental and beneficial to tourism and trade. I believe that people-to-people and commercial ties between Turkey and Sri Lanka will grow in the years ahead. First of all, I am grateful to media organizations, especially Daily Mirror, Daily Financial Times, Daily News, Colombo Times, Mavrata News, Rupavahini, Maharaja News, for providing us the opportunity to express our opinions and activities to the public. And they demonstrated the importance of free media to all over the world.
So nice to meet you.
Former Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa, US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung were among the prominent figures present at the event.
If you are in good hands. Yes, you are safe and she's looking after you.
The presentation of the prestigious Allama Iqbal scholarships to 184 Sri Lankan students took place in Colombo.
The High Commission of Pakistan hosted the 2024 Allama Iqbal Scholarships Award ceremony in Colombo. Chief of the Defence Staff General Shavendra Silva was among the distinguished guests present for the event. The scholarships were awarded to Sri Lankan students.
Under this program, 800 fully funded and 200 partially funded Allama Iqbal scholarships are being awarded to Sri Lankan students in all disciplines at BS, MS and PhD levels. Currently, more than 400 Sri Lankan students are studying in Pakistan under this program. This year, 184 more students have been selected and will be awarded the Allama Iqbal scholarship. Today, we celebrate not only academic achievement but also the enduring bond between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, rooted in our shared history, culture and aspirations for a brighter future. The scholarships we award are not merely financial support, they represent a commitment to nurturing future leaders who will contribute to the progress of our nations.
The scholarship is named after Allama Muhammad Iqbal, one of the greatest philosophers of all time. He envisioned the freedom movement and separate land for the people of Pakistan, which contributed towards the establishment of Pakistan in 1947.
French singer Charlie Motto in Sri Lanka to captivate Sri Lankan audiences with her unique blend of soaring melodies and dreamy danceable beats.
Fleur de peau, tous ces jolis mots ne sont plus qu'un doux imaginaire quand la tristesse disparaîtra.
Guess what? Charlie Motto is here on a 3-day music tour in Sri Lanka. Let's go!
Tous de self-défense, je finis dans le ventre tel.
As part of the French Cultural Season 2024, the Embassy of France in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, in collaboration with the network of Alliance Française in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, is hosting a 3-day music tour featuring the acclaimed French singer Charlie Motto. Charlie Motto, a rising star in the electro-pop scene, captivated Sri Lankan audiences with her unique blend of soaring melodies and dreamy, danceable beats. Her performances are scheduled to take place over 3 days, offering free entry to all attendees.
I have a song called Hollywood Game, which is about introvert people, because I am, and the message is like to feel comfortable with ourselves and not to be preoccupied by the look of the others they can judge, and to stop being an actor, because sometimes when you are introvert you tend to act to be a person you're not, and so the message of it is like, just be yourself and nobody cares. I started music at 7. I started to take lessons at 7, but I sang before, and I played the piano, and I began making song covers because I grown up with YouTube and the covers on YouTube, and then at the age of 20 I started to write my own song because I listened to female artists that are songwriters, and it's inspired me, so I started to write my song. It's important to be happy about what you do and not fear about anything, and as I said, the look of the other and the judgment, so do what we love to do.
In addition to her concerts, Charlie Motto will conduct workshops for students at the Alliance Francaise in Colombo, Mathura and Kandy, providing a unique opportunity for young musicians to learn from her expertise. Charlie's unique sound combines French chanson and modern hyperpop with a touch of classical influence.
The Indian High Commissioner visited the Centre for Indo-Lanka Initiatives located within the Pathfinder Foundation premises.
Pathfinder Foundation hosted Santosh Jha, High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, who was accompanied by Maitri Kulkarni, Councillor, and Devika Lal, First Secretary Economics, meeting at its River Point premises in Paliagoda. The High Commissioner visited the Centre for Indo-Lanka Initiatives located within the Pathfinder Foundation premises, established in 2015 as the first private research institution dedicated solely to studying India-Lanka relations. He noted that the centre had collaborated and formed partnerships with a network of Indian academic institutions and think tanks which contributed to facilitating business partnerships and people-to-people relations between the two countries.
In 2015, we established this center. That was the first year we established our relations with a very famous institute think tank in New Delhi called Vivekananda International Foundation. Since then, we have signed many MOUs with think tanks spread all over the country in India. Today, we are having a special visitor to the Pathfinder Foundation. His Excellency Santosh Jha, he is visiting the Pathfinder Foundation with a delegation, and during the course of his visit, we will be having discussions as to how we are going to further develop India-Sri Lanka relations, as well as we are planning to take him from the Pathfinder Foundation to the nearby Kalani temple, through which we plan to develop relations not only with the Pathfinder Foundation but also with a very important religious institution or religious temple in Sri Lanka.
The Colombo stock market sustained its upward momentum today as well.
The all-share price index gained by 0.2% to close at 12,770.58. The S&P SL20 gained by 0.22% to close at 3,864.32. The market turnover was over 7 billion rupees, with more than 146 million shares being traded.
The 2024 COIL Leadership Forum took place in Colombo.
The Chamber of Lankan Young Entrepreneurs, or COIL, held its 2024 forum in Colombo. The Leadership Development Forum was themed I Am. Among those who spoke at the event was former Sri Lanka cricket captain Mahela Jayawardena, who shared the importance of values.
I hope that you'll all vote for me on the 14th. Everyone's wondering which party. So a few of my friends, we thought, we'll try this out with my school friends. I have a good 6 buddies that we always get together during election time. So we thought we'll create a party and create some excitement, but unfortunately all the names were taken. Then we thought, okay, we'll start with a symbol. So obvious thing, a cricket bat was taken a few years back. A cricket ball was taken. We Googled and see that they had nothing to do with cricket. And one of my friends said the only thing probably be available would be as a symbol will be a ball guard. So that was it. Our political dreams all went away. So you're all safe, at least for another 5 years. There's no ambition on my part to be a politician. For me, my happy place was on the field, on a cricket ground. That's where it all began. It was a team sport. I started learning things with my friends, how to win, how to lose, how to compete. That was life lessons for me over a period of time. I came across different individuals, different personalities in life, local, international, and I learned. And I've just never stopped learning. I'm still learning. I learned a lot today, listening to the panel, how they've went about their journey. And a few things which is very, very important for me in life are values. I think for me, everything was built on those values. Being honest, when you say respect means not to demand respect, earn respect, respect the other person. These are qualities. Responsibility, don't shy away from that. We all make mistakes. We all made mistakes in our lives, in our businesses, on the cricket field. Own up to those mistakes. That's how you will learn from that.
The 2024 COIL Leadership Forum is a platform for knowledge sharing and entrepreneurs' empowerment.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Continuing in local news, station masters stopped issuing train tickets as of 4:30 p.m. today, and this is a trade union action that was launched due to issues related to the promotion and recruitment.
The trade union action was launched after discussions between authorities regarding promotions and recruitment ended without a favourable resolution. As a result of the strike, tickets were not issued at the Fort railway station.
ටිකට් දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියනෝනේ මාර ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඒකයි. ඒ වශයෙන්ම මේ එකමනම් වැරදි වැඩක් මේගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ මොනවා කරනවද කියලා තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ආණ්ඩුව බලයටපත් වුණා විතරයි. මිනිස්සු තමයි මේ වලින් අපහසුතාවයටපත් වෙන්නේ ඉතින් කොහොමද? මෙච්චර මේ දේවල් දීලා දීදිත් මේගොල්ලෝ ස්ට්‍රයික් කරනවා කියන්නේ දැන් ඉතින් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ ඉතින් අපි තමයි ඉතින් මේක කරුම ගෙවන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මිනිස්සු තමයි ඉතින් කොහොමද රස්තියාදු වෙන්නේ ඒකයි වැඩි.
Tickets were also not issued at several other stations in support of the strike. According to the Railway Station Masters Association, the trade union action will not disrupt train operations.
අපේ දුම්රිය ධාවනයට බාධා කරන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද මගේ ජනතාව මේ පවතින තත්ත්වයක් එක්ක තවත් අසීරුතාවයට ලක් කරන්න.
We will not disrupt train operations because we do not want to inconvenience the general public as a responsible trade union given the current situation in the country. We have no political motives. Even during this time as a responsible trade union, we have repeatedly brought to the attention of every government the issues faced by station masters. Despite winning a 5-year increment through a strike, even during the current administration and at a time when a presidential election was underway, and despite this increment being approved by the Public Service Commission, the recommendations to grant similar promotions to other ranks such as drivers, controllers and supervisory management positions have not been implemented for station masters. We have continuously requested that the necessary steps be taken to address the delays in promotions for station masters.
හේතු සොයා බලන්න අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු ඉෂ්ට කරන්න කියන පැමිණිල්ල අපි දිගින් දිගටම කළා.
Meanwhile, the Department of Railways clarified that this situation is a result of the ongoing discord between two trade unions. They highlighted that the lack of consensus among the unions has made it challenging to comply to the necessary requests.
In your sports news, the Court of Appeal ordered to recall the warrant issued by the Mathale High Court to arrest the chairman of the Sri Lanka Cricket Selection Committee, Upul Tharanga, today.
The Matale High Court had issued a warrant for the arrest of chairman of the Sri Lanka Cricket Selection Committee, Upul Tharanga, due to his failure to appear before court to testify in a match-fixing case. The writ application filed by Upul Tharanga against the arrest warrant was taken up for consideration before a Court of Appeal judge bench comprising Justices Mohammad Lafar Tahir and P. Kumaran Ratnam. Counsel Nishan Sydney Premithiratna, appearing for the petitioner, submitted that the petitioner will appear before the Matale High Court to testify on the next court date. Considering the facts presented, the bench ordered to recall the warrant.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.